Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. We're going to be talking about our product roadmap. Behind the scenes of our platform, our team is always trying to make using our software even more enjoyable and also easier for our customers. So we're constantly introducing new features and also new functionalities to help make operations more efficient. So today we're going to be talking about what we've been working on and also what we can expect from the Wunder platform in the coming months. Today I'm joined by Sebastian Lindemann and Neele Tobelmann, who are going to share the insights. Sebastian, could you introduce yourself?
Thanks, Katie. Yep, sure. I'm Sebastian, the head of product at Wunder Mobility. And with that, sort of the grease in the wheels that turn at Wunder Mobility to bring valuable functionality to our customers, so to our viewers today. I lead a team of product owners and designers, and together with our engineering team, we aim to bring Wunder's mission to scale and launch, to help you scale and launch vehicle sharing businesses into a product strategy that we craft and then execute. So like Katie already said at the beginning, if you're using our tool for operations, if you are in our white label app using it for your purposes, you probably have seen and experienced stuff that we are working on.
Great. And Neele, could you also tell us about your role at Wunder?
Yes, sure. I'm a business account manager at Wunder. That means that I'm basically taking care of all commercial topics of our partners, and I'm supporting them in achieving their business goals, including any operational consulting, hardware expansions, marketplace expansions, and basically every business-related query.
Great. So let's get started then. Just a quick note for everyone viewing, you can feel free to leave any questions in the chat on the right-hand side, and we'll try to get to them, but if not, we'll reach out after the webinar and get back to you. So let's start with the basics, I guess. Sebastian, what is actually the goal of the product team?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So the way we look at crafting our product, improving our product, is by looking at three main objectives, three main goals that are highly influenced by the goals of our customers. The first thing is we want to help you grow your revenue. Second one is we want to help you to reduce your operating costs. And then lastly, be the partner that helps you fulfill regional market requirements and standards in the countries or cities that you want to operate, so that you are able to operate in the first place.
Okay, great. So let's talk a little bit then about what features or functionalities have been in focus for your team in the last few months. What exactly have you been working on?
Yeah, there's loads to talk about, and we picked some highlights, and we can actually use what I just described, our product goals, our product objectives, as a bit of structure for that. So what do we do to help you grow your revenue? First, what comes to mind is subscriptions to credit packages. We allow you now to have a new way to drive recurring revenue by setting up subscription plans that help your users to subscribe to these subscriptions and be built on a regular basis. You can reward them by doing so by either offering discounts on the credit packages that they're subscribing to, or offer them a benefit for them being loyal subscribers and giving them a constant discount on their trips, or both in combination. So both a nice way to also reward your heavy users.
Mm-hmm. And Neele, what does this kind of look like in real life then?
Yeah, just wanted to say, yeah, there are also two great things about this feature. On one hand, these subscriptions really help to generate a consistent revenue stream regardless of the season, regardless of any hibernation period that is coming up. So it really ensures a secure revenue that is coming in that operators can actually plan with, as well as operators can offer a more attractive pricing option through this model to their customers. So it also basically serves as a new incentive to attract a totally different target group of your customer base.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and Sebastian, this is something the customer can then customize in the back end.
Exactly. So it's as you're used to, there's a lot of configurability options to these subscription plans. Do you want them weekly, monthly, quarterly billed? What should the text say? How are you advertising these subscription plans? Fully up to you. And but of course, also we don't leave you alone with that. So you can reach out to your account management team for best practices and tips for how to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great. What else have you been working on?
Yeah. So a second thing very closely related to revenue is your user base and growing it. So, and growing your understanding of it. So what we've been working on in the past month is a huge overhaul of our registration. So the window into your application. What we've done here first is a large technical update of the registration, which already has a huge benefit for you. You can now, if you want to use PayPal, Google Pay, or Apple Pay as a payment method, you can now also use our long registration, meaning you can collect a lot more information on your user that you can also then use in, for instance, marketing communication. Also, the registration already moved a lot closer to the look and feel of the actual app. So it does feel more like a complete package. The nice thing about it is we're just getting started. So this is the technical basis that we will follow up with quite some improvements in the future. So that's then probably something for later in the webinar where I can talk a bit more about it.
Yeah, exciting. And here we can also see kind of an example of how that might look then on the slides. Great. So it's already sounds like you've been busy. Is there anything else you've been working on?
So, sure. There's another great thing which I was looking forward to share here, which is our new multi-language templates. Mm-hmm. So for those of you who operate in different countries, or also have a lot of customers that are maybe expats, maybe tourists, we offer now the ability to tailor important parts of the app for which you provide custom content in their native language. So for instance, the subscription plans that we talked about earlier, but also credit packages or territories, you are now able to define custom texts for specific languages. Thus, for these super important conversion events, increase the chance of the user converting to it by catching them in their local language or the language that they set their phone to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just as Sebastian said, especially interesting for clients that expand internationally and need a multi-language setup, as well as clients that operate in cities with many international citizens or tourist cities. So in the past, we have been missing this on certain templates, as mentioned. So now, all these missing templates are filled with unified languages. So this feature really now offers the full range of languages to the customers and is fully inclusive here.
Fantastic. And I've also heard there's been some API improvements. Sebastian, could you share a little bit maybe about those?
Sure. So a bit more technical maybe than the other topics we talked before. We still we still have a screenshot for you to aid the understanding. So what are we doing here with our APIs? We want to provide you with the flexibility to build upon our services and tailor them to your needs. So what we recently launched is a new webhook that informs you when a vehicle has been moved without an active reservation. So how could this might be helpful? Likely events when this happened could be either vandalism or theft. So you can now take this information and use it to improve your operations also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you've mentioned this webhook. Are these other things you've been talking about also going to be available then through Wunders APIs?
I would say that's a very good question. So it is like I said at the beginning, we aim to provide our customers who want the flexibility to work with our information in a more custom way in all parts of the application. So also, for instance, the subscriptions that we talked about earlier will be accessible through our APIs, and you can also use them and handle them, for instance, in your own applications, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great.
And just to add on that, operators, as we all know, often face the problem of vandalism, of theft, or even have hardware problems. And in many cases, operators only notice this after a couple of times, right? Which costs money and resources. So with this feature, Webhook will be basically immediately fired once the vehicle is moved by 15 meters, or that's also customizable. So you're able to prevent vehicles from being missing and to act quickly upon this notification, which is really cool.
Yeah, that sounds really cool and definitely very beneficial for a lot of operators, I can imagine. It definitely sounds like the team has been very busy. There's a lot going on, a lot to talk about. We do have a tool where our customers can see everything that's going on the product side. Sebastian, could you tell us a little bit more about our public roadmap and
Yep.
how it's used?
Yeah, sure. So this webinar here is definitely not the only way how you can follow along for what we do. We have a public roadmap where we make transparent what we currently work on, what has been released recently, and also what we're currently contemplating about, what we're considering to might add into the product in the future. So this is definitely a great chance for you to check every time you wish to have an update to see what's going on. Also, though, it is not meant to be a single direction. You can also use the tool to help us understand how important a certain functionality is for you, and also help us learn what problems you need to have solved the most urgent. So you can also vote on the topics on the public roadmap. You will then, for the topics that are important for you, actually also be informed when we release them, for instance. So you will catch that information and be able to then go into the tool and try it yourself. So it's a great way to keep updated, and also to give feedback.
Mm-hmm. Great. And we actually have a question about the public roadmap. Is this updated regularly? Is this always up to date?
We do our best. So it's updated regularly to give you the status quo look in how we operate. Yeah.
Great. Perfect. So in our public roadmap, we see the different areas. We see in development, for example. So could you share a little bit about what our customers can expect to roll out in the coming months, and what is currently under development that you can already share?
Yeah, sure. So there's plenty on there, and we picked some highlights here to just name a few. The first one is sticking again with our theme of helping to increase revenue, is we are doing a redesign of the booking flow in our mobile apps. So what are we trying to achieve here? We want to make it easier for the user to understand the different pricing options that they have, which currently is a bit limited. And then also, while we're at it, we are also improving a lot the understandability of the different important actions like ending a ride and parking a ride. So a lot of feedback that we gathered from users over and from you, of course, as proxies that we gathered over the years to really make for an efficient, well understandable booking flow. We're not stopping there because we also want to make it as short as possible, if you please to do so. So we're improving the options for shorter booking flows while also adding customization abilities to, for instance, the pre-ride questions. So a lot to look forward here for the specific case, for the most important case of booking a vehicle in the mobile app.
Wow. Okay. There's a lot to think about when it comes to each individual functionality, and I suppose there's always areas where you're constantly, working on them and constantly innovating on them. Are there any other areas that you're working on at the moment that we can expect to see soon?
Yeah, we can try to connect to something we mentioned already in the webinar, the new registration. It will come now also with new capabilities that help your users to sign up faster. And as we know, faster usually means better conversion, and better conversion in this term means user growth for you. So what are some things that we are working on? One is dynamic keyboards. So when a user should type in a phone number, we switch the keyboard automatically to show numbers and not letters. They need to type in an email address. We make the @ symbol on the keyboard appear for faster input. It is also that, so we are not stopping there, because you might notice from online shopping, if your browser knows your address, it might pop up and be filled in automatically. We are working on something similar. So if your phone knows your address, we'll suggest to pre-fill it, or your name suggest to pre-fill it when you fill out a registration, thus making the whole flow a lot faster. Faster is not the only thing that we do. We also give you the chance to work with a captcha in the registration to be even better with fraud detection and managing that already in the registration flow.
So these are all kind of details that make it even easier for the end user to register, and makes their lives a little bit easier too.
Exactly, and for the capture, then the machine's life harder to sign up.
Yeah, that's great. Anything else you can share already?
Yeah, there is another item on our list. The app management settings, which you probably know from originally setting up your app, or filling in translations, updating translations. So we are tackling the app management settings to make it easier for you to work with them, and also to apply changes to your app configuration. So what does that mean? We are simplifying the structure a lot, making screens less long, so no need to scroll endlessly in the future to find topics. We improved the wording drastically, so we are improving the wording drastically, so hopefully you will be able to better understand how to work with these settings. And then lastly, we are also focusing on giving you help with achieving good usability in your app. An example I can give here is guidance in telling you if your combination of text color and background color will lead to good readability or bad readability. So all these topics are bundled under the umbrella of the app management rebuild, and it's something we are currently also working on.
Okay. And I see here we also have faster task management on our list. That sounds very interesting, I'm sure, for a lot of operators. What does that mean? What's happening?
Yeah, happy to talk about this one as well. It's of course the faster you can react to topics in your operations, the higher, for instance, the uptime of your fleet will be. You catch a vehicle being low on battery, you can immediately tell your street operators or your support to have a look at that. So that's the specifics, one of the specific scenarios we are trying to improve. We have an existing task management, but it's currently not close to your control center, to your operations map, where you spend a lot of time working. So what we are doing is we're bringing these task management capabilities closer to that control center. So you will be able to assign tasks to your coworkers from the operations map. You will be able to filter for vehicles that have open tasks, or, for instance, apply tasks in bulk to certain vehicles. So by that, already making the day-to-day operations handling a lot more efficient to you, for you. So hopefully less time spent on these tasks, while at the same time achieving a higher uptime for your vehicles.
Yeah, especially just to add on that, the bulk creation task is a super extremely helpful tool to optimize processes and save time, because now operators can actually set certain parameters, such as energy level below 10%, or the point in time the vehicle was last moved. And based on these filters, the operators can set up actions, and they're even able to combine these with other filters. So let's say you only want to combine these with particular vehicle types, because certain vehicle types have different batteries and they require different battery swapping, but different maintenance process. So ultimately, this bulk creation really helps to improve operational efficiency here. Yeah.
Wow. And also, I guess, be more flexible for the operators to be able to customize what they need to do. Yeah, wow. So there's a lot coming up then. A lot in development at the moment. Looking beyond into next year, if we move away from our public roadmap, Sebastian, are you already able to maybe share a couple of insights of what might be coming beyond this in the future? Or can we share anything extra?
Sure. With pleasure. So there are two topics that I can definitely mention that we are currently looking into, and why am I sharing those so openly? It ties in very well to how I also described our public roadmap to be helpful. These two topics are currently topics that we are thinking about how they might look in our product. And there it is super helpful for us to also get your feedback, your concrete use cases, your struggles, to then shape a solution that is beneficial. So this is why we are sharing these topics so openly, even though there's no committed timeline or roadmap behind them. The first one being notifications and alerts ties in perfectly to what we described with the task management. The faster I know about something happening, the faster I can react to it. So in this case, what scenarios in your daily work are so important that you want to be notified, for instance, with an email or maybe an alert in the product, to then be able to take actions on it? Like the battery drop below a certain percentage could be an example of such an event, but what else is there where we can help with sending messages to react faster to events happening in the real world. So yeah, the second point on the list is mobile phone number verification. So we are currently exploring how we can help you catch fraud or authenticate, verify users better as part of the registration flow. So you probably noticed from other apps or websites where you try to register, you will also get sent a code to your phone, which you need to type in to complete the registration. So we're currently exploring ways of how to offer this also for our platform and how it best makes sense to solve the use cases that you have with it. We heard of some, but we are happy to hear more. So definitely use the product board or reach out to your account management team if this is of relevance for you. We are happy to learn about it.
Great. No, then it's exciting to see what will happen next year then, based on everything you shared. We are coming now to the end of our time today. So I want to thank you both for all the insights you've shared. It's very clear that the Wunder team is busy working on features and functionalities that are really optimizing operators' experience and make it more efficient. You've shared what we've already rolled out in the last months, and also what we can expect, what's in development and what we can expect coming up in 2022. And of course, the public roadmap was shared, which is super helpful, I think, for both the customers and for us to work on our product further. There are a few questions we'll have to get back to after the webinar, but of course, I think it's important to mention that viewers should not hesitate to reach out to their account managers with any questions or any issues. Neele, for example, will be happy to help you with any of these topics or understanding how they maybe affect your own business or how they can be implemented and so on. So don't hesitate to reach out. So thank you both for your time, and we're looking forward to what's coming up.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.